Nero. The name alone conjures images of tyranny, madness, and flames, one of the most infamous scenes in Roman history. The emperor, dressed in theatrical robes, strumming a lyre as the eternal city burned. But did that really happen? This is the next episode in our deep dive into historical myths and truths. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more untold stories from history. In July of 64 AD, a fire erupted in the merchant district of Rome. It burned for over a week, devastating 10 of the city's 14 districts. Ancient sources estimate hundreds of thousands were left homeless. Cue the infamous image, Emperor Nero, watching from a high tower, playing his lyre while singing about the burning of Troy. It's a haunting symbol of imperial apathy. But where does this story come from? Three key Roman historians, Tacitus, Suetonius, and Cassius Dio, are responsible for passing down this tale. But here's the catch. None of them witnessed the fire firsthand. Their accounts were penned years, even decades after Nero's death. Tacitus, widely considered the most reliable of the three, was born a few years before the fire. In his Annals, Book 15, Chapter 38, he mentions the rumor of Nero singing, but only as a rumor. In fact, Tacitus reports that Nero was likely in Antium, about 35 miles from Rome, when the blaze began. He rushed back to organize relief efforts, opening his gardens to refugees and distributing food. Suetonius and Cassius Dio, however, paint a darker picture. Suetonius claims Nero climbed the Maecenas Tower and sang in a tragic costume as the city burned. Cassius Dio echoes the story, but both were known for dramatic flair, especially Suetonius, who delighted in scandal and imperial gossip. And here's the twist. Even in the ancient world, people were skeptical of the story. Tacitus himself seems doubtful. Let's pause here. Think about it. A lyre is a quiet, delicate instrument. Could it really be heard over the roaring inferno of Rome? And Nero, though often portrayed as mad, had a deep obsession with performing arts. That passion, unusual for a Roman emperor, made him an easy target for ridicule by the senatorial elite. Accusing him of musical performances during a national catastrophe was the perfect weapon. Was Nero indifferent? Possibly. Was he theatrical? Definitely. But was he serenading the apocalypse? Unlikely. Archaeological evidence shows extensive fire damage in central Rome, aligning with ancient reports. Yet, it also supports that Nero initiated urban reforms, including fireproof building codes and wider streets to prevent future disasters. This story sticks because it means something. It's more than a detail in a dusty scroll. It's a symbol, asterisk of leaders ignoring crisis, of propaganda shaping perception, of how easily history can become legend. From Shakespeare's Julius Caesar to the 1951 film Quo Vadis, from documentaries like I, Claudius, to Netflix's historical dramas, the image of Nero playing as Rome burns has been immortalized again and again. But behind the smoke, there's a lesson, one we still wrestle with today. Nero's alleged lyre performance is often cited in modern times to describe negligent leadership. You've heard it, fiddling while the world burns. Whether it's politics, climate change, or crisis management, this 2,000-year-old tale still resonates. It reminds us how myth can blur into history and how perception can outlive fact. So did Nero play the lyre while Rome burned? The evidence says probably not, but the myth, that's eternal. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a like, subscribe for more myth-busting history, and comment below, what other ancient mysteries should we unravel next? Until next time, stay curious.